Hey everybody, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. As usual, the Smoke Meat Podcast is sponsored by Joe's Underground in Augusta, Georgia. Joe's is located at the corner of 8th and Broad in the bottom of the Lamar building. Just a short walk down the stairs. It's a great place. Jeremy and the gang make you feel right at home. Right now, they're doing what they need to, and they're closed for the quarantines, trying not to spread this nasty virus. But they do have some t-shirts and swag on the website or on the Facebook page. Go to Joe's Underground. Today's guest is going to be a young man named Artie Hoffman. Artie is a psychic medium. He's also the host of the weekly radio shows Angels and Answers. We're going to have a good talk with Artie today. Looking forward to it. So without anything else, let's just go on ahead and get to it. Here's Artie Hoffman on Smoked Meat. Hey Artie, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Oh, outstanding, outstanding. Uh, Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a psychic medium and you have a weekly radio show, Angels and Answers.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to explain. Not everybody actually knows what a psychic and a medium is. Um, a psychic is someone who's able to predict what's going on in their life. Talk about their past, um, or able to see what's going on in the present moment. Is able to predict the future, and I help guide people with answers. When you have a heads up on life, it really helps you out a lot. And so, the difference between myself and other people, what a psychic is someone who's capable of following their first gut instincts without questioning it at all. And so, I've made a lot of future predictions for people that have come true right on the money, predicting about finances, predicting about future love, uh, predicting um, you know, about medical situations or family situations. Job. I mean, literally, it's endless. Medical. I do pets also, um, and so I make all these predictions. But it's not that I know anything about anybody. It's I've learned to channel my energy and my thoughts to connect to the spiritual world. And so what happens is that God and the angels and my spirit guides, they communicate to me in my thoughts along with the person who I'm reading. I communicate with their angels and they tell me what's going on. Now, they don't tell me everything of what's going to happen to somebody in the future. I see a lot of things, but not everything, because there are certain challenges, there are certain things that you're meant to go through in this lifetime. So there are times where I've told people, I'm going to tell you an interesting story. After I'm finished with this story, I'll tell you what a medium is,
Okay.
which I am. So a girl comes into my place. She comes into my apartment. That's where I do my readings. And she said, Artie, she looks at me with a smile and she said, for the last 2 years, I've been thinking about you. I go, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, you read for me here 2 years ago. And we sat down right here at your kitchen table and you held my hand. And as soon as you held my hand, you started singing the song, Highway to Hell. I'm going to Highway to Hell. That song by AC/DC.
I know it will.
Yep. And she said to me, you said, you know, you said to me when you held my hand, you heard that song, you said, if I don't stop doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get caught real soon and I'm going to get thrown in jail. And 1 week later, I didn't pay attention to what you were saying. And 1 week later, I got caught at doing something I should not have been doing. And I ended up in jail for 2 years. And every day I woke up and I was thinking to myself, why didn't I listen to Artie? So people have the ability to change things. They
Yeah.
definitely have the ability to change things
Yeah,
when they have information.
when I was
So
younger,
she
I
she did not have to go to jail if she didn't want to. well, she didn't want to go to jail, period. But it was her blessing to know information in advance so that she did not have to experience, but she was going to have to stop doing this, creating this bad energy around her. Otherwise, this is what you're going to experience.
Right.
So there are times where I read for people, and like within the next day or two, they got in a car accident. They go, Artie, why didn't you tell me that I was going to get in a car accident? Well, you were meant to go through it. Or why didn't you tell me that I was going to lose the money or that I was going to get hurt at this, that? You were meant to go through that experience. But then there are times where I save people from car accidents. And I tell people, I said, you know what? They're showing me a traffic sign. I'm seeing a very busy intersection. This happened just last week. I said, I'm seeing a very busy intersection. I'm telling you right now, there's someone who's not paying attention and they're going to blow right through the light, or they're texting, or they're doing something they should not be doing, and they're getting distracted. And even though you have the right of way, you're going to have to play defense from now until the end of the summertime whenever you're around a busy intersection of a traffic light. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt. I said, always play defense and always do the right, give the other person the right of way. Even if you have the right of way, give the people the benefit of the doubt because someone's going to do something stupid and you're going to get hurt. I said, this does not have to happen. So at the end of the summertime, I want to hear that nothing happened. And if nothing happened, no news is good news. So there are certain things in life where, come hell to high water, certain things in life are going to happen to you, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where you move, there are certain events, certain experiences you're going to experience in life. It's already programmed into your life, into the universe, that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of with who or where. Then there are other things, and I call them psychic probabilities, which means there are certain things that aren't written in stone. So it will lead you from, one person to another experience that will lead you to another experience. So, you're gonna experience different things. So there are certain things that aren't laid out in stone. So give you an example. If I was to say to you, you know what, I see you becoming a multimillionaire in your life. I see you becoming a multimillionaire. You're going to get invested with a business. Someone's going to offer you a business that you never even thought of doing. All right. But someone's going to introduce you into what they're doing, and it's very lucrative, very profitable. And I see this happening. Now, if you stop doing what you're doing with your life, just because I said you're going to become a millionaire, this is a strong probability based on your energy. Or if I tell you, you doing what you're doing, you're going to become very successful. It's going to be very lucrative eventually. You're going to do very, very well. And so all of a sudden you say, you know what? I could chill out now because Artie told me I was going to do very well. No, you're only going to do well based on you still pushing your business, still pushing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just going to sit on your ass and like chill out, then you just change the direction of your life. Just because I give you answers doesn't mean that you still have work to be done. So I'm in a position where I'm able to tell people, I can give you a map of your life, but you're still going to have to do the work. The blessing is that you know in advance of what's going to happen, but you're still going to have to climb the mountains and go through the hills and valleys and still deal with all the bull crap that's in the jungle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to take responsibility of your life.
Yeah, kind of like the old joke where the guy, every week he's mad because he doesn't win the lottery, and somebody finally comes up to him and says, in order to win, you have to play.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you want to know something? It's really funny that you said that. I have another really interesting story based on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at someone's house. I do what's known as Artie parties. People hire me to go to their houses, and I do parties, psychic parties.
Mm-hmm.
But being that my name is Artie, I call them Artie parties.
Nice.
So I'm at this woman's house and I'm sitting on the couch with this one lady. I read everybody individually. So I'm sitting on the couch and the lady looks at me and she goes, Artie, she goes, I got to tell you what happened. I go, what's that? And I don't remember people, most people. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember what I say at all to people when I do readings
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in a different zone. We sat here 2 years ago, right on this couch. We sat here 2 years ago at this party, and you told me that I need to play the lottery or I need to go to Atlantic City because you saw me winning tens of thousands of dollars. And I told you at that time, I'm never going to win because I don't gamble. I'm not a gambler. I said, well, then, and you told me that I still need to take a chance. And she goes, well, what happened was 6 months later, she goes, I still don't gamble. I never gambled. 6 months later, after you read for me, was my birthday. And my kids came over my house for my birthday. And one of my kids bought me five $2 scratch off lotteries for my birthday. And I scratched off the first $2 lottery ticket and I won $50,000.
Mm. That would just be horrible to do. I mean, to tell you. Now, I know
So
you probably get this question all the time, from people who, don't believe and just pretty much smart alecks, if you're psychic, why
so
don't
what
you
you're
win the
going to
lottery?
say is, well, if you're so good and you're so smart and you could predict the future, then you'd be a multi-millionaire billionaire by
Yeah.
now and blah 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 blah. But it doesn't work like that because I know that I'm not meant to win a lot of money that way. I mean, I was told that a long time ago, and hopefully that will change. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a risk taker. I still like to take chances in life. But my gift is to help out other people with it. So I've given people winning stock tip investments. I have given people winning lottery situations. I have given people winning numbers to play. Pick three, pick four.
Mm-hmm.
And people have won over 90 people. I could honestly say in my career, over 90 people have won money based on what I told them on stock investments, lottery, when to go to Atlantic City, when to go to the casinos, what numbers to play, whatever.
Yeah.
If somebody directly asks me, Artie, what's the lottery? Give me the numbers. I can't do it. It has to come through me naturally for
Mm-hmm.
me to give lottery numbers. Or sometimes when I'm doing a reading. Now, a medium is someone who connects to people's loved ones who have died or have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in the zone, people's loved ones have given me winning lottery numbers, and I told the people, and they played it, and they've won. So I was doing a reading for this one lady. She was having a party, and she was the last one to be read. She set herself up to be last to be read,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm communicating to her mother, who passed away, and I said, your mother said you need to play the number 147. She goes, it's coming up soon. She goes, all right. She goes, when we're finished here, I'll have my husband go to the store and I'll have him play tickets. I'll have him play the numbers for the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
So after our reading was over, we're walking down the hallway of her house and we're into the TV room. And she goes, honey, she goes, my mother pulled through. She said, we need to play you need to go to the store and buy the lottery tickets. She said, 147's coming out. He had the TV clicker in his hand and he's sitting on the chair and he's looking at the TV. He goes, it's too late. It just came out. 147,
Oh man.
right on the TV.
I believe. I throw that out there. I'm not egotistical enough to know that or to say that we know everything in the world and we understand everything in the world. I believe in psychics. I believe in mediums. And
The people, when you find out, the more you find out about life, the more you realize you don't know.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, as as I've gotten older, I've always been what people may call a little off. I grew up believing in Bigfoot and I believe in aliens. I know we're not the only thing out there in all these galaxies and everything. And I
Oh,
know we're probably
absolutely.
not the smartest ones either.
You know, I saw a bumper sticker and it said hire a teenager while they still know everything.
Definitely, definitely. Um, when I
Yeah, but
was,
there is more to life than just what's here, and there is life after death.
yeah,
This isn't your one shot deal. We've been here many times before, and there'll be other times afterwards
mm,
where we'll be going to other dimensions or come back here on Earth or whatever our karma pulls us, wherever the Lord brings us to for our higher good.
mm.
Now, the interesting thing about life is that before we're born into this world, what year were you born? Are you not, do you mind saying?
Yeah, I was born in '71.
All right. So let's go to 1969, and you're hanging out in the spiritual world. And while you're hanging out in the spiritual world, you're with your spirit guides and you're with your angels. And before you're born into this world, you're the one who picks out your parents to go through the experiences of life. You're the one who picks how you're going to die and when you're going to die. You've picked it out. You're the one who gets to pick the kind of major experiences you're going to experience in this lifetime. Whether you lose a loved one at an early age, whether you're dealing with alcoholism, whether you're dealing with drugs, whether you're dealing with poverty, whether you're dealing with sickness, whether you're dealing with, maybe you're not going to have that kind of a horrific life.
Mm.
Maybe it's more on an emotional level. You're going to deal with your heartaches. And then as soon as you're born, you're blessed with amnesia. And now it's time to play the game of life according to all the pieces you picked. And
So,
then now God says to you, we know this on a subconscious level. God gives us the understanding, you know what? I love you unconditionally, and you're allowed to do with whatever you want in life, and I'm not going to stop you because I give you free will. And that's why people say, well, why doesn't God stop? If there's really a God, why doesn't he stop this virus? Why didn't he stop 911? Why didn't he stop all the poverty? Why doesn't he stop all the bad? Because God allows everything to happen. And on a conscious level, when we bring all our consciousness to a point, we will make the changes. It's our choice, whether it be on a grand scale or on a personal scale.
I
And
know.
God said, when I say I love you unconditionally, I'm really not going to punish you. When I say I love you unconditionally, I give you free will. If I gave you free will, then why would I punish you if I gave you the okay that you're allowed to do with whatever you want? So, but there is this thing called karma.
Oh yeah, I believe in karma.
So, whatever whenever there's an action, there is a reaction, and that's karma.
Yeah, I see karma
Whenever
happen
there's an
every
action,
day.
there is a reaction. And so, you have to, so if you put out kindness and love and good, then you will get that back in return. And if you put out hell and aggravation or whatever, it is going to bite you in the ass.
Hmm.
And a lot of times it seems like a lot of people get away with a lot of crap. But you want to know something? Nothing ever escapes from the eyes of God.
Hmm.
Everyone always has to come and deal with what they've created. And it might not be within this lifetime. They might have to pay for it in the next lifetime. So if you were to kill me in this lifetime, subconsciously, you know that you're going to have to be killed within this life or in the next life because you need to experience the pain that you deliver to someone else.
Hmm. Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah, like I said, I definitely believe in karma as a paramedic. It's funny. I see karma every day. Just on smaller levels. But
Hmm.
and I just, I'm, I kind of call it you get what you give.
No,
There's,
that's exactly it. That's karma.
yeah, yeah, and it just, I believe in that. One thing I got a question for you about is deja vu. Now I'll be doing things, and I mean I vividly remember doing. I mean exactly what's happening right now.
And I'm going to explain that to you right now.
Yeah.
Now, I just said to you just now that we already know there's a course of events that we're already aware of what's going to happen within this lifetime
Mm-hmm.
before you're born. A lot of events. I told you certain things are written in stone. It's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and other things aren't. So what happens when you are in this world? You just had a flashback of a memory that you knew that what you're doing right now or where you are, you knew that this was going to happen. You had a recall. You had an image before you were born of what's to be in your life. And when you have deja vu, you say, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like we've had this conversation because you were meant to be there or you were meant to have that conversation. You were meant to be doing that action.
Okay.
So that's deja vu. It's like it's a reminder of what is already to be.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I do, and that happens to me a whole lot.
I saw a funny tile. You know, there was a funny expression,
Mm-hmm.
and it said deja poo. I felt like I felt like I've heard this shit before.
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, talking about being able to tell if people were gonna, destined to be, have money. Well, I don't know if destiny is the right word, but to be rich or to be poor or whatever. I've never had a reading before, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not destined to be rich. I mean, we're comfortable, and I'm really happy we've worked hard to do what we've done. But the reason why I say I'm not destined to be rich, and one of my friends is also cursed with this with me, is because everybody's had the lottery talk with their friends. What they're going to
Wait,
do if they
everybody is what?
had the lottery talk. The talk that says, if I won the lottery, here's what I would do after I paid my bills. Yeah,
And you
me.
know something funny? Most
Hmm.
people would not do what they said that they would do if they were to win the lottery.
I'm pretty sure me and my buddy would do this. We talked about buying the excavators, the big tractors with the big long arms on the front.
Yep.
Talked about buying two of those and sword fighting with them. So I think the universe has pretty much decided we're not getting money.
Well, it's interesting. I was having a conversation with God, and this was after uh, my second divorce. And, I really, really was in love with my wife, but yet I knew I could not stay with her. And so I was in that very vulnerable state of mind, which a lot of people are when they're dealing with breakups and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
I was in an extremely vulnerable state of mind, and I wanted to break out of it because I wanted to gain back my power. And I'm driving in my car, and I said to God, I said, God, I want to do skydiving because that was one thing I always said I never wanted to do because I was literally deathly afraid of skydiving. But now I was putting the thought out there to skydive because I wanted to break past my fears.
Hmm.
So I said to God, I said, God, is it okay for me to go skydiving? I said, send me a sign. In that exact moment, a car pulled out in front of me while I was driving. And on the license plate, there was a picture of a wheelchair. And I said, I could take a sign. I'm not going to go skydiving.
Definitely.
you
Yeah.
know, not that I would have died, but I could have broken a foot or a leg.
Yeah. I found out through this life there's things that are a lot worse than death.
And
People
you want
say,
to know something?
mm-hmm.
Two winters ago, again, I'm in my car. I'm having a conversation with God. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I think this year I want to buy myself a motorcycle.
Been there.
All right. I want to buy myself a motorcycle. I said, God, is it okay if I get a motorcycle? Give me a sign if it's okay. Within that 1 week, all right, of all weeks, and I do this for a living,
Mm-hmm.
but within this 1 week, I hear three stories in 1 week of three people and their stories about their loved ones who got killed in a motorcycle accident.
Mm.
Within that week, it didn't happen any other week. Only in that moment when I said, God, give me a sign to let me know if it's okay. So it's like I'm not meant to physically put myself way out there in danger or in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I could play sports. I played sports my whole life. I'm not an invalid. I mean, I like to, I like to play all sports. I like, except for rugby or shit like that.
Yeah.
But football, basketball, tennis, baseball, everything, soccer. I love to play all sports, bowling, tennis. I love it all. So I played all those sports, but not, and I ski too. But I don't put myself in harm's way where I could really get hurt.
Yeah. You don't do the extreme stuff.
I'm not an extremist. No, I would like to experience. There's a part of me that would like to, but I'm strongly getting signs that I'd end up getting hurt if I push the limit. So I don't. So I don't.
Yeah, I do in certain things. I push the limits, but like I say, when it's like I'm told when I don't need to do something. Several years ago, I bought a motorcycle, and I had never ridden one. The guy that sold it to me, great friend of mine, we were actually renting a place to him, and it was right next to ours, same driveway almost. And he was teaching me, he said, do not go down your driveway because it was a steep hill with a lot of gravel on it. He said, don't do it till I tell you you're ready. Well, I woke up one morning and I said, I'm going to ride over to Seth's and just surprise him. And I got about halfway down my driveway and I started going a little fast, so I'm going to slow down, push in the clutch, push in the brake. Well, instead of the rear brake, my mind made me push the front one, and it just locked down. I just laid down. I mean, not very high speed, but I put about a 5-inch gash in my leg, got gravel in my knee, tore up the bike, and that to me, that was kind of God saying, all right, now this was that little slow speed. You really want to get out on the highway with this? And I wound up selling the bike. I never got back on it.
Yeah.
Because I know my limitations. I would die on the road in one.
Yeah. Well, it's all about respecting the boundaries.
Yeah.
People always ask me, Artie, can you read for yourself? And once in a blue moon, I get, not once, I get my gut instincts. You always have to follow your gut instincts.
Yeah.
But I have friends who do what I do, professionally also, psychically. They're very talented. So I'll ask my friends because I'm too emotionally involved in my own stuff. So I can't read for family, and I can't read for close friends.
Yeah.
Because I'm too emotionally connected to the outcome.
Yeah.
When you're emotionally connected to the outcome, your soul and your ego is having a battle with one another, and you don't know what's real and what's not real, what's fantasy or what's reality, So when you go to somebody who's not emotionally connected to you, then they're able to read for you much better.
Mm. Yeah, I'm a big believer. You talk about the gut instinct. And May 30th, I'll have been in EMS for 30 years. As a EMT and a paramedic, and I ride with a lot of younger people, and I help teach a lot of people. While they're on the job with me. And one thing I always tell them: trust your gut. Your gut's your training. Your gut's your instincts. You need to trust that because it will never lead you wrong.
Right, and there are going to be times where you might be wrong when you go with what you think is right.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still never to stop because that's the dark side challenging you.
Mm-hmm.
No one, I don't care how great the psychic is, no one is ever 100% on the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm damn close. No, I'm only kidding. No one's ever 100% on the money.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't stop following your gut, but that's the dark side challenging you. You still need to follow your gut instincts regardless. If something doesn't feel right, then go with it. Don't do it or make the changes or go for it, whatever. Your gut instincts will let you know when something feels right.
Yeah.
And when it feels right, it's like, baby, I know it. It feels right. It feels real good. Baby, don't stop.
Exactly. And it's funny. Anytime I've not listened to my gut, it takes a lot for me not to. And 99.9% of the time, if I don't listen to it, it bites me right in the ass every time, just about.
Right.
And I'm just a believer in that. But so what have you got going on right now, Artie? I know you got your radio show, and I know you're doing your parties. I imagine that's kind of been a little bit slow because of the the virus and the outbreak and everything right now.
Well, I do a tremendous amount of phone readings now.
Hmm.
So people call me up. Let me give you my phone number: 732-778-7173. 732-778-7173. And or you could email me at artiehoffman@gmail. So people call me up for phone readings or they email me or whatever, and then we set up an appointment. So I do a lot of phone readings or I Skype, and I read people from all around the world besides the country. As a matter of fact, this afternoon I have a phone reading with somebody in Italy. Somebody's calling me up in Italy, from Italy. We're going to be Skyping.
Nice.
And so, I was like really flattered. So I do my Angel Book Facebook Live show
Hmm.
every Sunday night. Well, since the corona, it's usually 9 o'clock at night, but now I've been doing it 6 p.m. Eastern time
Hmm.
because my assistant has to get home by a certain time because of the curfews and shit.
Yep.
So we do it 6 p.m. for 1 hour. So people can go to artiehoffman.com, my website, and there's a link. And it says Artie Hoffman, Angels and Answers. Right? Artie Hoffman, Angels and Answers.
Okay.
And when you click on that, that will lead you right to my Facebook Live show. And I read people for free for that 1 hour. And I get thousands of people watching and a lot and hundreds of questions are coming in. Now my assistant Mary, who's with me on the show, she'll read the questions as they're coming in, but she randomly picks a question because there's so many of them.
Hmm.
And so I look at the camera, and according to the question that Mary picks, and they're all random, it's spontaneous. She reads me the question and I answer the questions. And so sometimes I'm connecting to people's loved ones who have passed away. And other times I'm telling people about their future love or what's going on in their life.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you a quick funny story.
Hmm.
So there are girls who'll ask me, Artie, do you see me getting pregnant? That's what they ask me while I'm on the show. Artie, do you see me getting pregnant? And know what my answer is?
What would
When
that
you stop watching me on this show and you get in the bedroom, your odds are going to be a lot better.
be? Nice. Nice. Oh man. Yeah. You see, for that one, you ought to say, well, now for that one, you have to have an in-person reading.
That's right.
But oh man, that's an awesome answer. Uh, I've always said there are no stupid questions. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. But people have been challenging that with me a little bit here lately. I don't know what it is. If people are just cooped up and what's going on with them. But I always said people can't surprise me anymore, but they do every day now. Are you getting that a lot?
Oh God, yeah. It never stops. It never stops.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, people, it makes me laugh when people say to me, Artie, tell me what's going to go on, what's happening in my life, but don't tell me anything bad. I said, all
Okay.
right. So anyway, so I'll share with them, and I call it foo-foo talk,
Mm-hmm.
which means I'll just give them information about, I see you going on vacation, I see you doing this, I see you doing that. I give them fluffy talk. I mean, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
All what I'm saying is real. It's not like I'm making this stuff up or stuff. Well, sometimes I do think I'm making it up.
Do the old vaudeville cold read?
Huh?
Do kind of the old vaudeville cold read for those? You're gonna have this person in your life that their name starts with a T and that kind of stuff.
No, I give names.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually give names.
Outstanding.
So this was really funny. You're gonna wait. I just had a funny thing. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Damn, there was a story that I wanted to share with you, and it just left my brains. Damn.
That happens a lot to me.
Wait. We were just talking about. Reiterate what we just said.
Just mention about the vaudeville cold reads.
No, and before that,
People just wanting the good news.
yeah, people just wanting the good news, right,
Yeah.
and they don't want to hear anything with the bad news. And oh shoot, I forgot the point. There was a point. It was a really funny point too. Damn, it was a funny story. Damn, damn, damn. I hate when that happens. I got so many thoughts going on in my head at the same moment
Hmm.
that I said, all right, I got to remember this, and I'm going to tell him, and I'll just wait patiently for the conversation to be for that moment to be over, and I'll say it, and then I forget.
Welcome
And
to
that's
my
what
world.
happens to me a lot of times. I
Yeah.
get caught up in the moment. I get caught up in the moment, and then, like I said, when I do readings, I don't remember what I say to people because I'm just in that zone, in that moment for the moment.
Hmm. And the neat thing, I fully understand when you're talking about being in that zone. You know, when you're good at what you do, you can get there. You know, when I'm on stage as a comic, um, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I get in this little zone of my own where I don't hear laughter anymore. I don't hear anything. I'm just in my little area doing my thing, and I know
Right,
people
you're
are
into
laughing,
the
but I,
story.
yeah, yeah,
You're
I
into
just,
the story, not so much as making people laugh. You want to know something? When I was about 30 years old, I tried to do stand up comedy. I tried it for a few years, and I wasn't that great at it. I was good. I was always funny to my friends and to the public. But to
mm-hmm,
do it up on stage, there was something different, and I couldn't do it. I found out I was funny bouncing off of situations.
mm-hmm,
I was funny bouncing off of moments that were happening, and it would trigger off a funny thought to me whenever I see somebody doing something or saying something. And I always had a funny comment or something. I was known as a class clown in school. And not that I was a wise guy. I was never a wise guy, but just it's in my family shtick. My family, that's just the way we were. We just always quick wit with funny moments and stuff.
yeah. That's
And
that's the way
so
I've always been.
yeah, and so when I switched over to talking about spirituality, and I started talking in front of live audience about God or about spirituality or about whatever, um, I would tell funny stories with my experiences, or I always put a funny twist to what I'm saying. So when I was up in front of the audience, I was never afraid or never scared while I'm talking about spirituality, because it's not about me trying to be funny. It's about me sharing beautiful information that I want the public to know,
Mm-hmm.
or to know about life, or to know about their life. And there's always like funny stories about past experiences, or just funny moments will happen to me in the moment. And then I share with people all these funny moments, which would make me funny because of these stories I'd be telling about whatever the topic is of what I'm talking about. And there's no prep work. Everything happens spontaneously for me. I don't prep for what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I just go with the moment, and then life ends up happening.
Well, that's one of the things that I've learned over the years doing comedy and doing. I've been in a podcast since about July, and doing videos. When I first started the podcast, I mean, I've done it a little bit on this one just because my mind's in a thousand places. I've actually written some stuff down just to keep it going. But when I first started, I used the interviewer voice like, "Hi there, Artie. Where are you from?" That kind of stuff, and it just doesn't roll. We're just having a conversation. As Reno Collier told me the other day, it kind of hit home. He said this podcast is two guys talking on the phone with a bunch of people listening, and that's what it is. When you put yourself out there and it's just you. You're just
Yeah, not realizing that so many people are listening.
yeah. I'm not
You
trying to
want to know
impress
something?
anybody. I want to talk to Artie Hoffman this morning.
You want to know something? For whatever reason, I'm thinking of this funny joke, and I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but I am. Do you
Hmm.
remember? Do you remember the comedian Stephen Wright?
I do. I love Stephen Wright.
He's really funny, and one of his opening lines to his bit, which is one of my favorite lines, and he goes in his very soft, slow voice. He goes, a funny thing happened to me 2 years ago, or was that yesterday?
I think my favorite joke of his, he said, I used to work at a fire hydrant plant. Or factory. I couldn't park within 3 miles of the joint. But he was so dry and he's so awesome because of that. I love
Oh,
him.
another one of his funny jokes. Another one of Steve's funny jokes is, you know, I came home late one night. It was about 2 in the morning. He goes, I was a little buzzed, and by accident, when I went to go into my house, by accident, I put my car key inside the house door, the doorknob, and I used my car key, and so I started up my house. So I went inside and I took it for a spin around the block. I got pulled over by the cops. He asked me, he goes, "Where do you live?" I said, "Right here."
I love him.
His humor, it was sensational.
Yeah, and he just had such a dry delivery. He just like, man, this guy's awesome. He's not out there trying to be the zany guy. He made you think some, but the way he delivered was just amazing. I
And
loved
you
it.
re-
Oh,
and you remember David Brenner?
I do. I remember
When he
David. I
goes
could
like
never
this,
forget
he
that
goes,
nose.
he's yeah, big nose, yeah. He's got, he used to tell this story where, he always made it known that he grew up in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
He goes, so I'm taking a bus ride across Philadelphia, and on the bus I'm sitting on a paper, this newspaper, and the guy right across from me asked me, he goes, "Excuse me, sir, are you reading that paper?" And he said, so I got up, I flipped the page, and I sat back down.
Nice. I haven't heard him in years. I'm gonna have to look up some of his stuff today now. But yeah,
One of my
man,
friends sent me a Rodney Dangerfield joke to me this morning.
I love Rodney.
He goes like this. He goes, a girl calls me up. She says, come on over. There's nobody home. So I went over. Nobody was home.
Oh man, I loved Rodney. He was such a man. I'd love to have met him because he was such a talent and from what I understand, such a great guy. So helpful to young comics and helped
you
launch
know,
so
he
many
did
careers.
he didn't start comedy until he was in his late 50s.
Man,
He was a painter most of his life.
hmm.
He used to paint houses. And then yeah, he became a stand-up later on in life when he was believe it or not, when he was like 58 years old.
Hmm. I've been first time I got on stage as a stand up was I think in 1990 or 90 or 91, and people still say I haven't started comedy yet.
That's right. That's right. That's funny.
The great thing about the limits they're putting on everything where you can only have gatherings of 10 people or less, I can still do shows, and I
That's
and
right.
I almost sell out.
That's
But,
pretty funny.
but no, I love this gift that I have been given to be able to make people laugh and just to be able to talk to people because to me that's important. And I just it's what I do. I'll probably never make money at it, and that's fine with me. If I could make money at it, I won't turn it down. But that's not why I do it. I do it so I can help people and I can help make people laugh and make their day a little bit better. Because this world can get crappy, and if you can make somebody smile, all the better. That's good karma.
That's right. That is good karma.
Yep. And I have days where I'm a total butthole where I really need that good karma banked. Most definitely, but we all have those days.
We all have those things.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
What I was gonna say, um, you know, it, I always tell people, when you have a dream, you got to go after your dream, and there will be a lot of people who will give you devil's advocate advice
Hmm.
and tell you you're crazy for doing it, or you shouldn't doing it, or why are you doing that for? And I feel like people who are like that are jealous because you're doing things that they don't have the courage to do.
Yeah.
And so you're stepping out of their comfort zone. And they'll give you every reason why you're crazy, why you're nuts, why you shouldn't do it. It could cost you time, it could cost you money. You're going to make a fool of yourself. But you don't know if you don't try. And with those people who are filled with negative thoughts, then you don't share with those people what you're going to do. You could tell them after you've accomplished whatever you've accomplished, but don't ever tell them what you're doing before you want to do something, because they will knock you every time because misery loves company.
Yeah, it definitely does. And what tickles me, I'm not sure about other aspects of entertainment, which I'm sure it is, but like with comedy right now, you know,
With what?
it's with comedy right now, it's almost like a competition between a lot of people, and I've got a couple of young comics that ask me to help them out, and hey, can you just kind of give me some advice on it? And I do it every time because it's not a competition for me, it's to me, if I help them realize their dreams and them feel like they're funnier, then that's a little piece of me that's going to live on.
It's
And
almost very contradicting to make comedy a competition,
yeah,
and it's a battle, and too many people make it a battle of the egos.
they do.
And it shouldn't be like that. We're just, hey, you stole my joke. Listen, you stole from somebody. Said it's funny. I'm here just to make people laugh.
Yeah,
It's not like I'm stealing um, something that you've created and invented, and like other people are using it. And it's emotional humor. It's life. It's laughter. It's funny how I just thought of this. Comedy. It's a serious business.
it is.
And it's funny because I say that to be funny. Comedy is a serious business. It's true. Like you say it playfully, but yet it's still true.
Yeah,
And it's one of the hardest jobs to ever do is to be on stage and to make people laugh or to get them out of that zone. And the thing is, you just got to be true to yourself when you're telling the story. It's not what makes someone funny is not what you're saying, but how you say it,
yeah,
because you're creating an image, you're creating a picture for the person. So whether you're telling a joke or whether you're telling a story about your life, and you exaggerate the situation to make it funnier. Sometimes it's not an exaggeration, which makes it all that much funnier.
yeah, yeah. And I like doing true stories on stage. It about just about everything I do has at least a huge pebble of truth to it because it's easier to remember and people identify with that. Like say you're putting yourself out there a little bit more, and I've got a bit that I do where I worked at a haunted house one year, actually for a couple of years, just part time going out and volunteering and having fun.
Uh-huh.
And just my observation on the way different people react when they get scared. And because it's true, that bit kills every time because it's the truth.
Oh yeah, the reactions where you mimic their reactions.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's hilarious the way that people act because there are specific reactions for specific people. And 99% of the time, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Well, of course, everybody has a different reaction of how they respond to happiness, sadness, scaring the hell out of them, or whatever.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's spontaneity. The element of surprise
Yep.
is usually pretty funny.
And I was very good at that. I enjoyed that job. It was fun. But,
One, I love the shows like Candid Camera.
oh, yeah.
Love those shows. I love the show of America's Funniest Videos,
Hmm.
shows like that. Those were the only shows that would literally make me belly laugh. When I listen to other comedy shows, like I'm watching TV and comedy, like they'll make me laugh inside. I think it's funny, but it doesn't make me, very few things will make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
But when I see true events of people screwing up or being duped or whatnot, that makes me belly laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like that. I don't laugh out loud at a lot of things that I'm watching. And it makes some comedians, friends of mine, if I'm watching them, it makes them kind of paranoid, but they finally grown to understand that I'm not a loud laugher. But when something makes me laugh, it is write it down because it's something that's good. And I like those things too. The shows like that. I remember Candid Camera from when I was a kid. A lot of people listening now may not remember it, but I remember Alan Funt, and they would do so. It was so groundbreaking, and now it's the norm.
Yep. And Art Linkletter, when he interviews little kids and what they have to say,
Oh yeah, kids
is
say the
his
darndest things.
Yeah, it is hysterical. When Art, I personally think Art Linkletter
Mm-hmm.
is much funnier than Bill Cosby, because if you notice, Art Linkletter is about the kids, and so he lets the kids be the funny one. Bill Cosby tries to over animate to try to make himself funny, while the kids are naturally being funny.
Yeah, those kids are the stars of that.
Yeah, but if you notice, when Art Linkletter interviews the kids, he's not trying to be funny. He's the straight guy,
Yeah,
and he just like pops his eyes and he laughs according to what the kids are saying. Whereas Bill Cosby, he tries to overly animate whatever the kids are saying to draw the attention back to him.
yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong, Bill Cosby was a very funny guy, but under those circumstances, I definitely liked Art Linkletter better. And if you saw, if anybody was to Google or YouTube Art Linkletter interviewing kids, the kids say the darndest things.
mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it is absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, it was.
Very, very funny, because the kids come out with the most natural sayings and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I love stuff like that. And I'll tell you what I used to love. Remember Carol Burnett's show?
Yeah,
From what
they used to laugh. They used to laugh on stage a lot.
well, Tim Conway, from what I understand, didn't actually have a contract with them. His whole job was to go up there every week and see if he could break them up, see if he could make them break character, and he was the master at it. Oh,
Yeah.
he was
Oh
so
yeah, of
great,
course.
and the writing on that, they nobody tried to overshadow anybody else. That was so
Right.
great. That's what made that such a wonderful show and such a great team. Went with the wind. Their parody of Gone with the Wind.
Uh huh.
The little things in that were just so masterful. She's wearing a green dress with a curtain rod in it.
Yep, I remember.
No, I just saw this hanging in the wind and just had to have it and just rolls on. And that kills.
Yep, it's very funny. It's very funny. One of my, a lot of times people will ask me, Artie, how did you know when you had the gift? And I said to them, I woke up one morning with my birthday. It was my birthday,
Hmm.
and my mom had a box that was all wrapped up. And I said to my mom, I said, "What's in the box?" She goes, "It's your gift." I said, "Ever since then, I had the gift."
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm one of those people that believes, talking about your gift, that it's something that everybody has got a little bit of inside of them. It just I think when me and you had talked before, I mentioned to you about ghost hunting back when that started becoming the big thing. And
Uh huh.
when I was doing that, I don't believe myself to be a psychic or a medium at all. But when I was doing that, I opened my mind a lot more, and
Right.
I could sense things a lot easier during that. I don't know if it's because my mind was open or just coincidence or what, but um, I don't do it hardly at all anymore just because I don't have time to anymore. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I got some really cool evidence on tape, different voices, things like that. But now it's like that's just kind of gone almost. What's your feelings on that? Where people, everybody does have it to a point, but just don't develop it or don't understand it.
Well, people, it will keep on going like that for people. See, I had that happen to me, and I had a burning desire of wanting to take control of it and not just do it randomly.
Hmm.
And so I projected my energy to try to learn how to do it.
Hmm.
And, I went away. I told you, I went away to that one weekend seminar in Virginia Beach at the Edgar Casey Foundation.
Hmm.
I got a postcard sent to me in the mail saying, "How would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation for this one weekend seminar." And that one weekend changed my life forever. And I went just on a whim,
Hmm.
just to see if I can do it. And I went home and I got myself a deck of spiritual cards, because people were telling me how accurate I was.
Mm-hmm.
And went home, got myself a deck of spiritual cards, and started reading for people for free, just for the fun of it. And uh, and then I got to a point in my life where I needed some extra money, and I don't know what I was going to do to make some extra money. I'm sitting on the couch. I said, you know what? I know how to do readings. So I threw an ad in the paper, and it said, if I don't pull through, no charge,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want people to think that I was a sham. If I pull through for you, you pay me. If I don't, then don't worry about it. Just a few minutes shared.
Yeah.
And 90% of the people paid me, and it just took off word of mouth. And then 31 years later, I'm still reading people. I've read for over 31,000 people, and out a career came.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, Artie, I've had a ball talking to you today. You know you're welcome on here anytime.
Well, thank you so much. I
Very good. Just
appreciate that.
call me or email me, and hey, we'll. If I don't have time, I'll make time. Because I mean, this been great. You've been a wonderful guest, and I've enjoyed it so much. Um,
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
people. Now, you brought this one up by the voice. You can tell me the truth if you know. Is he really gone?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is he really gone? I heard that. Thank you
It,
very much.
yes,
I figured this much.
yes.
But I had to ask. The comedian and the Elvis fan in me both had to ask.
Yep. He's really gone. He's really in spirit.
Yep. Yes, indeedy.
It's just a lot of people don't like to deal with the truth of the reality of, but it is what it is.
Yep. We're all going to be out of here someday.
That's right.
That's for sure. Well, Artie, I
Uh,
appreciate you talking to me today, man. Like I say, anytime you want to be back on here, you're more than welcome.
well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Hey, anytime, anytime.
You enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
Definitely will. You too.
All right.
All right.
Stay well.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.